You have one of those Thule swing-out racks. You're going to find that they are an absolute pain to work with. All of the weight is on the outside, on the right side, and it's really hard to put into the hitch. Also, the attachment into the hitch is done through this bolt that screws out, and there's no crosspiece. In order to prevent losing this rack once it's completely in, Thule provides this little cam strap with a carabiner that you can use to attach it to the hitch. But if you drive a lot on bumpy roads, especially with an upright bike rack like we have, this is actually collapsed in the middle right now, then there's just a lot of shaking and sometimes it comes loose. I have found that there are two things we can do to work around. Number one, I went to my local machine shop and had them cut me a shim, which is about 3/16 thick. I epoxied it on top here, which means it won't fall off. What this allows me to do is to fill in the gap that is usually here. The gap makes it really easy to attach the bike rack back in, but it also means that it can bounce up and down a significant amount. So the shim helps stabilize that part. Part number two, with all of this weight out of whack, it's really complicated to keep the receiver in the hitch aligned and square. And so the way that I found to do this is to use not a cam strap but a ratchet strap, which is attached to the underside of the truck. You can't really see very well how it's attached, but I have a camper attachment here. You could really attach it to any other part of the frame. The main part is that when I insert the swing-away into the hitch, I attach this ratchet strap and I make sure that it is wet, because when it's wet it loosens. It'll tighten up even more when it's dry. Crank it up as much as possible, which allows this attachment to be nice and square. As you can see, there is no movement in here. The whole truck moves up and down. The same thing happens when I insert the back. And this is, in my opinion, the way to make this stiffest and as attached to the frame as possible. Thanks to this, we've been carrying an NSR, a North Shore Racks upright bike rack with 4 bikes and really minimal bouncing, even on dirt roads. As I'm taking the rack off, you can see how much movement there is in it when it's not stiffened, and that's because I took out this cam strap. If I were to change nothing else and just crank up this ratchet, you can see that the amount of sideways movement is severely reduced.